All right, let's talk about something that's happening inside your body right now. A kind of hidden battle that has way more to do with your health than you might think. We're gonna dive into what your fat cells are really doing when you're not paying attention. So, I want you to start with this one question. What if your body fat wasn't just there? What if it was actually an active, raging battlefield? I know it sounds kind of crazy, but honestly, it's way closer to the truth than you'd imagine. You know, right off the bat, we've got to bust a huge myth. We're all taught to see fat as this simple storage unit for calories, right? Kind of like a piggy bank for energy. But the reality? Oh, it's so much more complicated. Your fat tissue is actually one of the biggest endocrine organs in your body. It's pumping out hormones and chemical signals that affect, well, pretty much everything. And that's where our story really begins. We're not talking big picture just yet. We're zooming all the way in, deep inside that tissue, to a single cell that's facing a crisis of its own making. So meet our main character, the adipocyte. That's just the fancy name for a fat cell. And its whole job is to store energy. And let me tell you, it does that job very well. So well, in fact, that it can just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. But there's a serious problem lurking when it grows too much. That problem has a name: adipocyte hypoxia. I know, it sounds super scientific, but all it really means is that the fat cell starts to suffocate. It's literally being starved of oxygen. So how on earth does that happen? Well, here's how it goes down. As that fat cell gets bigger and bigger, it physically pushes itself further and further away from the tiny blood vessels that are its lifeline. You know, the ones that deliver all that precious oxygen? And eventually, it gets too far away. The oxygen supply is effectively cut off, and now that cell is in a full-blown panic. And what does any living thing do when it's in crisis? It calls for help. And this is where our story takes a wild turn, and a whole new cast of characters burst onto the scene. Now, a fat cell can't exactly pick up the phone and call 911, so it does the next best thing. It starts pumping out these chemical SOS signals. They're called cytokines, and they flood your system, basically screaming at the top of their lungs that something is going terribly, terribly wrong. And your body hears that call loud and clear. It immediately dispatches the first responders. In this case, it's a type of white blood cell called a macrophage. Think of these guys as the infantry of your immune system. They're the ground troops sent in to deal with any threat, no questions asked. So, picture this. These macrophages swarm the area. They completely surround this giant, struggling fat cell, locked and loaded, ready for a fight. They've received a distress call. They see a cell in trouble, and they are there to neutralize the problem. But here's the twist. The rescue mission goes completely haywire. See, the immune system is designed to fight off foreign invaders, things like bacteria or viruses. But a suffocating fat cell? That's not an invader. That's one of your own. And this case of mistaken identity leads to a tragic, never-ending stalemate. The macrophages show up, ready for action, but they're confused. They can't fix the problem. They can't give the cell oxygen. And they can't just kill it and get rid of it because it's a part of the body. So what do? They just stay there. They surround the cell and they just keep pumping out those inflammatory chemicals, creating this permanent, low-grade, chronic inflammation. And this little war doesn't stay local. The battlefield in your fat tissue starts to affect everything. This chronic inflammation spills out and starts to sabotage your entire body's operating system. And this is why it all matters so much, especially if you're trying to lose weight. That constant low-level fire contributes to so many things we deal with. We're talking aching joints, a higher risk for heart disease, even that feeling of brain fog. But here's the real kicker. It creates an internal environment that is actively hostile to weight loss. Your body is so preoccupied fighting this endless civil war that critical processes like, burning fat for fuel just get thrown completely out of whack. It means you're not just dealing with extra weight, you're literally fighting your own biology. So that leaves us with a really powerful question, doesn't it? If your body's trapped in this 24/7 war with itself, a war it can never actually win, then maybe the goal isn't just to lose weight. Maybe the real question is, how do you call a truce?
Thanks for watching Body Science School. Please like, share, and subscribe the channel for more.